Good evening YouTube. It's Peter here again from bioversion.com, and I'm here today to do a big shootout between this new kid in the block and this grandfather of blenders. You might be familiar with the brand Blendtec. It's been around for a while, and it's arguably one of the best, considered one of the best blenders on the market. Something like Mercedes or BMW within the blenders, or amongst the blenders. Obviously there is another brand called Vitamix, but we're not gonna talk about Vitamix. We're gonna talk about a possible killer of both these high-end blenders. Is it possible? Who knows? We'll see. This blender here is called Berg. First time when I heard this name, I was not really familiar with that company, and I have to say I was a bit reluctant towards this blender, but it looked really good on the paper. Actually has a more torque and horsepower than most of the blenders. It has more RPM than most of the blenders, including Blendtec and Vitamix. It's 40,000 RPM for those who want to know exact number, and it's a looker as well. It really is looking nice. It's a bit bigger than them both, but I have to say it's also much nicer. It has a really nice, sleek, almost metallic finish, and as you see, beautifully well lit blue display, which looks really chic in your kitchen. Other features of this blender are it has a place where you can, let me demonstrate, wrap the cord around, which we like really much. It doesn't cause any clutter on the desk. It has a really nice smart button here on the top, so we don't need to switch it off like most of the blenders. You just put the carafe on and it's on. Take it off and it switches itself off. You can of course switch it off by the wall socket if you wish to. Blender on my left side has the dedicated button here at the back, which I just pressed. We're gonna do a comparison between these two, and what I chose today to blend is actually a quite hardcore, full of seed fruit, which is pomegranate. I think pomegranate is one of the hardest things to blend for a blender. And also we've got raspberries here, which are frozen. It's really good to froze some of the fruits, so you don't need to add ice cubes if you don't want to. Just add your frozen raspberries, blueberries or strawberries. I like. Then we're gonna use a kale, fresh kale. This is also really hard for a blender to pulverize, because kale, as you know, is full of fiber. It's full of vitamin K, vitamin A, iron, and because it's full of fiber, it's quite hard to blend for most blenders. Anyways, we'll see how these two gonna cope with that. And then we're gonna chuck in a whole apple, just like that, without pre-cutting or anything. We might put in some sprouts. We've got alfa sprouts. There is another fruit which I'm gonna use as a sweetener. We're gonna use figs. You know that figs are full of small, tiny seeds, which also are a bit of a challenge for a blender sometimes to blend. So without further ado, let's get blending. I'm gonna use equal amounts of everything. Not gonna weight it, but you know what I mean. Just cut it in half. It's pretty much there. Okay. Okay. What I like about the Berg blender, I've noticed it straight away, that it has a quite nice rubbery base under the jug or carafe, and this base I believe is responsible for quite quiet operation of this blender, because as you see it sits quite snug on the base, and when I shake it, I don't hear it rattling like on this one, because this is made just of the hard plastic. Okay, so let's use a handful of raspberries, handful of kale, apple, about the same amount of alfalfa sprouts, and I'm just gonna, because I don't like these hard bits on the chicks. Blender wouldn't have any problems with it, but maybe it's just me. The lids also have a nice rubbery design to it, basically encapsulating the sound within the jar. This blender on my right has also came with this rod, which you can use to push everything down, similar like some other brands have, but I have to say you didn't need to use it so many times, because this blender has 6 blades that can drag everything down, and I have to use it 2 or 3 times out of maybe 20, so it really performs well without that. But it's good to know that in case you need it, it's there. Blendtec doesn't have anything like that, but it has only 2 blades, which allow a little bit more space on the sides of the carafe for the food or fruit or veg to actually come down and to be blended. So we're going to use the smoothie function on both of them. I have to say these both have a preset or several presets, but they're also fully manual. The Blendtec is manual. You can select the speed, and Berg you can also select the time as well manually. So let's press. So here we go. This is what happened without adding any liquid in it. As you can see, Berg managed to blend it all. Blendtec will need a little bit of water, or in our case some coconut water. gonna just, for the sake of this review, gonna put same amount into this blender as well. Okay, so let's press the button again. Nice one. So, as you can see, Blendtec didn't manage to blend the apple at all, and you can see quite a big chunks of fruit still here. I don't know, I wouldn't drink this one, I have to say. On my right side there is one beautifully looking smoothie. I didn't actually expect it's gonna be so straightforward for this newcomer, but it's just outstanding. You can see there are no seeds, everything is nice and smooth. Looking forward to drink it. So let me just wrap it up very quickly, because there is not much to talk about. This blender won hands down, and I would just recommend it to everyone. Don't be afraid of a new brand, because if it's done properly, then it works as a charm. And it definitely brought a smile on my face when I saw its performance. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you're gonna enjoy smoothies you make at home as much as I'm gonna enjoy this one right now. Cheers!